Here is some more Tom Cruise fish lore and why everyone is talking about the rumors again suddenly, and a new blind item that is allegedly about Tom Cruise, fish, and Prince Harry. Did the pint-sized actor show up somewhere with a fish? Why is everyone talking about it again? What if the ginger-haired one showed up somewhere with a fish and wanted some lessons from the pint-sized actor? And again, this is allegedly Tom Cruise and Prince Harry. And here is the first of the related fish blind items. This one is from December of 2020. The craziest tip I have received in a couple of months. I thought I would share. I made it blind. I'm originally from California, but I've been in a language immersion program in blank for the past 18 months. Yesterday, I was doing my weekly shopping when I saw this A-plus list mostly movie actor over at the fish counter. He was wearing his mask, actually two, one on top of the other. But I knew it was him because he had security with him and because I heard he was filming in the city. So he purchased a whole sea bass but requested that they not wrap it up for him. He then took the fish into the men's room, was in there for about 10 minutes, and when he came out, he no longer had the fish. I don't know what he was doing with it, but it was really effing weird. Here's another one. Earlier this week, I posted the craziest tip I've received in quite some time. Here is a continuation of that tip. The only edits are for blindness and a note on 2016. I believe I know who the fish bathroom guy is. I think it's this A-plus list mostly movie actor because I witnessed him doing something similar in 2016. The actor was briefly in town in 2016, in a supermarket in LA. He had been wearing sunglasses, but it was definitely him based on the nose and the bodyguard next to him. I mean, being LA, I guess it could have been any celeb, but it was really the nose that gave him away. I took a number from the red number thing and waited to be helped. Our actor was taking a while though because he was carefully examining every fish that the guy placed on the scale. Finally, he settled on one, not sure what kind it was though. The actor requested the man not wrap it up, so that's actually the only reason why I followed him. I thought maybe they were filming a movie or something and they had an emergency need for a new prop. He went into the men's room with the fish and the bodyguard, but I stayed outside, afraid to be appearing to be yet another starstruck civilian following a celeb somewhere. Although when they opened the door to the restroom, I could see there was not a film crew inside. I waited around like 5 minutes pretending to be shopping and was about to leave. I was thinking I might get in trouble for loitering outside the bathroom or something when they finally came back out of the bathroom with no fish. I was really curious, so I went in and found the fish in the garbage, wrapped in a massive amount of paper towels. Then I left. Here is the next blind item. Dear NT Lawyer, I am reading your website for 2 years. Excuse my English, please, as I am not a native speaker. I'm living in the USA, California for 5 years now, but I'm from Beijing. Your blind item reminded me of what I saw in my Beijing supermarket many years ago. I worked at a fresh meat counter of BHG supermarket in Beijing, which was next to the fresh seafood counter. One day, maybe in 2013 or 2014, I see a man go to the fresh seafood counter and order one fish. He had 2 black clothes men by his side and sunglasses over his eyes. He spent many minutes looking at the fish selection, and then he ordered one complete fish called pompano. I did not see what he said to the fish counter staff worker, but I see him walking away from the fish counter with the fish not wrapped, but the fish was raw, so I don't think he would eat it then. At closing, my superior says there is a pompano in the bathroom rubbish bin. I tell her what I see, and superior says she sees the same thing the day prior. Also, my peer who works later shifts informs me that the strange man returned to the supermarket in the evening and purchased pig trotters, pig feet. He put every package of pig feet in the shopping cart and became even more distressed when my friend said there are no more. This one's called More Fish. This was my first time ever as an extra, and I was actually told I was lucky because I got to get more glimpses of the actors than most extras do. I noticed this A-plus list mostly movie actor seemed jumpy, sort of like he was on something. He was like bouncing on the balls of his feet. He wears specially made shoes with really thick soles, by the way. I'm good at reading lips because I have partial hearing loss that's getting worse as I age, and as the shoot was ending, I was on the other side of the street from him, so I couldn't hear what he was saying, but I read his lips and he kept saying something about a fish. He said the word at least 3 times. Here's another one called More Fish. I saw this A-plus list mostly movie actor in Boston in 2009. I do not read your blog, but my friend does, and I'm writing to you on her advice. I worked in the North End, basically Boston's Little Italy, at the time, and the actor came into my store and asked if we sold whole fish. I told him no, we were a small shop. We only had a limited selection of fillets, and he became agitated and asked if he knew where he could buy a whole fish. I directed him to a store around the corner, and he left in a huff. It was weird and happened quickly. I didn't have time to process it. And this last one is called We Have More Fish. One more thing, I think I know the identity of Fish Lover. Back in, I think, 2015 or 2016, I worked in a pet store in Georgia. A friend of mine who worked the registers and would assist in the live animal department when needed came up to me one day in tears and said that this A-plus list mostly movie actor had just flipped out on her. He had come into the store about 10 minutes prior and had begun inquiring about fish. He wanted to purchase a plecostomus, which is a type of sucker-mouth catfish that can grow to 24 inches long, depending on species. He said he wanted the biggest one we had. My friend showed him the common plecos we had, which grow to be the largest, but none of them were more than about 6 inches long because we received them all as babies and they're always purchased by customers before they mature. He began demanding one that was at least 20 inches long, and my friend told him that we simply did not have any that size. She suggested he go to any of the small mom-and-pop type fish stores around the city, as they usually have at least one massive pleco suffering in a way too small tank. At that point, our actor basically threw a tantrum, whining about how he needed the fish now, and he stormed out and he shouted back at her that he would be considering a lawsuit. Needless to say, my friend was very upset. And this one is the first and only blind item I've ever seen in the form of a haiku. This one is called Fish Haiku. Fishman is A-plus list mostly movie actor. I know because I saw him do stuff with a trout. It was long ago on a long-lost movie set in California. I'm not an actor. My mother was in the crew. She brought me along. He had trout brought in, whole and large with mouths open. He refused to share. Then he disappeared into the bathroom with one he thought no one saw. I went in after and found it in the trash can, stuffed at the bottom. It was in rough shape. One eyeball was popping out. The mouth leaked white stuff. I ran to my mom. She told me to shut my mouth, so I said no more.